Hey friends, Andrea here. This video is going to be some playtime to make a spring bracelet, a stretch bracelet. And I was inspired by this little earring that I found. This is a little dangle earring that I was given as a gift many, many years ago, probably 20 years ago. And I think I lost the other earring in the set, or I might have repurposed it to use already in something else. And I went ahead and pulled out some kind of coordinating beads in different colors. Since it's kind of like a daisy color, white and yellow, I pulled out some yellow beads. Here I have some little kind of cut glass, and then I have some matte glass. I think these are 6mm round check beads. They're called drucks. And then I also pulled out some some AB cut glass, check cut glass, olivine. That's the color that this is olivine with an AB finish. And AB just means Aurora Borealis, because if you can see on the bead as it rotates, one side of it has like a really shiny, light catching finish, kind of like a holographic. So anyways, I got those. Those I think are 6mm as well. And then I have some just rectangular cut glass. They're like drilled from top to bottom. And then I have a few other little drop beads. These are tiny little drops, and all of these are in the color olivine, I'm pretty sure. And then I have some little crystal spacers. I think these are like a pale yellow, like a jonquil yellow. And then I've got some white shell beads, Hishi beads, and I use these in another video, but it's feeling very similar in color. And then lastly, I pulled out some of these little hearts that are made out of hematite, I believe, and they're top drilled, and I just thought they're so cute. And hearts are not really my thing, I don't tend to wear a lot of heart patterned things. I guess I just tend to go with really simple basics and incorporate color and not bring a lot of pattern or shapes, I guess, into my wardrobe. I feel like it sounds judgy, but I'm not being judgy. I'm just saying that's just not my taste typically. And then I have a couple of these little crystal coins from a previous project, and I just left them here because I thought, well, if I get so inspired to incorporate them, I will. And then I have some of these little daisy spacers. They are about 4mm daisy spacers, and I use these in a lot of my bracelets. So those are the materials that I kind of pulled out to play with. I have some other things in here, like these little hex beads, but they probably won't be used. And I have my stretch cord. I have my GS Hypo cement. So I'm ready to get started, and I have not done any designing so far yet. I just pulled out beads that were in coordinating colors, and this is kind of how I go through my process. If I find something, I'm like, ooh, I want to make something out of that, then I just start pulling things out that I think coordinate. And sometimes I pull out so much stuff that like my desk is just covered in things, and I have to put it back, and it's a huge mess and a pain in the butt. I also pulled out some seed beads, and I have these kind of shiny gray seed beads in here, and I could use these if I need to bring them in for like a spacer type of thing, but I just figured I wouldn't start with that. I would bring that in later. So I have no game plan. I'm just gonna kind of create, and I'm gonna experiment a little bit, and then I'll come back when I've kind of come up with a pattern that I like. And I'm just using my Beadsmith beadboard. I know that my wrist is about 6.25 inches. My wrist is actually about 6 inches, but to be comfortable, a bracelet needs to be at least 6.25 inches around. And then sometimes it needs to be just a little bit longer because of the thickness of the bead. That does tend to eat up some of that circumference if I'm using a really thick or big bead. So I'm just going to kind of show you how I would get started with this. I did bring a pair of pliers to take this bead off. I do want to use this, and I have some little jump rings so I could bring this in and put it in as a charm. But that's going to be my first step, is just kind of using this as my inspiration. So I'll put it right here. And then I just need to kind of start designing. So I will go ahead and come back when I have a little bit more of a game plan, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Okay, I am back, and this is what I kind of came up with. I wanted to incorporate the shell beads, and I think I might make a trio, because I always make a trio of bracelets, but I brought in these green beads. I really want to use these up, and I brought in a few of the little hearts just to kind of emulate that, and then I used 2 of the bright yellow kind of matte beads. So this is gonna be technically the center of the bracelet, and I think I'll put the charm right here in the middle to kind of hang from the center of those. And I did like 3 and 3 of those Heishi beads on each side, and then I incorporated some of these little spacers next to the beads here, and then every 3 beads for the green, just to add some visual interest and break up the monotony of that green. So I did measure it, and it is going to be right. I could move this over here and it'll be exactly 3.25 inches. So I think it'll be the appropriate length for my wrist. So I'm going to go ahead and start stringing it, and I'll string it and then I'll come back and show you when it's strung. Okay, I'm midway through stringing, and I just wanted to show you, I used a really kind of large jump ring on this charm, and I think I might actually take this jump ring off and do kind of like a double or a triple jump ring here, because I think it's gonna get really, like, I don't know, it's gonna dangle too close to the bracelet. I feel like I'm not making sense, but but I think it'll just look better if I have another jump ring on it. So if I just leave this one jump ring here, it'll be turned the wrong way whenever I wear it. So I'm gonna do a 3rd jump ring, and I might end up undoing this. I'm just kind of showing you my thought process here. And then if I actually, I don't know if I want to use this big one now that I'm looking at it. I'm going to try using this smaller one, so that I have like a 3 chain here. And I just kind of thought I'd give my thought process behind this, because I put a big jump ring on and I started to string it, and I realized, like, it wasn't going to move at all. It wasn't going to dangle. And that's the whole point of a charm, is like it can kind of dangle or move, have some movement, and be kind of cute like that. So I knew that I wanted to kind of change it up and do something different. And I'm just, right now I'm trying to fix this like jump ring that kind of got bent out of shape somehow. I don't know if I did that or if it was already like that, but anyway, I'll fix it later. But I'm just going to show you what I mean. So when I put it on here and then I string another bead to basically like lock the charm in place, if I had the charm hanging directly from this jump ring. Then the charm, as soon as it's locked in there, it's not going to move around. It's kind of stiff and stuck there. But because I put a double, like basically the main jump ring and then 2 more jump rings to give it a little bit of a dangle and some room to move, and also so that it lays in the right direction, because if I had just done 2, it would have laid off to the side and kind of been angled there. That is going to sit nicely and dangle in the right place, I guess. So I just wanted to share that little tip with you guys, and I'm going to keep stringing. Okay, so I finished stringing. My bracelet's kind of all over the place. I'm just about finished with my stringing here, and sorry, I'm gonna open this up and get a little more. I think I put this in wrong and now it's got no movement, so I'm just gonna have to fiddle with it a little bit over here. Get it going in the right direction, because that is annoying me. So okay, so I have I have this bracelet, and I have actually one more bead left to go, and I just thought I'd string it while on camera. But so I have that, and yeah, I'm happy with this. It looks cute. I didn't want there to be too much white either, because I don't really wear a lot of white in my wardrobe. I do wear a lot of gray. I don't really have a lot of this color, but that's okay. It's most of my clothing is black or gray, and it'll be a nice kind of pop of color accessorize. And then I didn't continue the little spacer bead, the daisy at the end, because I have one on this side, and when I close it up, it'll complete the pattern here. And so when I'm putting this together, I definitely want to keep an eye or a close eye on which of my beads has the biggest hole, because that's where I'm going to hide my knot. And so I knew I wasn't going to be able to put my hole in these little hearts. It probably wouldn't fit in this one, and it might have fit inside of these Hishi beads, but I didn't want to take a chance. So these check glass drucks were the best choice, and they honestly don't have that much of a hole either, so I'm just gonna have to be kind of careful. I do want to make sure that it fits my wrist before I actually get started, because if not, then I don't want to. Yeah, that looks fine, and it's dangling. It's nice. It's cute. It won't be too big once I tie it, so I like that. I'm gonna go ahead and stretch it, and I usually stretch it like a specific number of times, because I don't know, I have a thing about it. So I usually stretch it 20 times in a row, and I'm holding on really closely to each end as I stretch it, so that I don't slip and beads go flinging everywhere across my room. So I'm just going to stretch it 20 times, and then I'll be back. Actually, I'll just show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And you can see, I did it on camera so you can see how far I stretched it. I'm not stretching it a ton. I'm just kind of gently pulling on it, and I'm not trying to like double it in size. I'm just trying to get as much of that stretch and that looseness out of the bracelet, because over time when you're wearing it and you're stretching it over your wrist, it's gonna lose some of that elasticity, and it'll kind of droop. It won't be as close of a fit to your wrist, and that's how you end up losing bracelets that either just fall off, or maybe they don't, you try to stretch them over your wrist and it's just like, oh, this doesn't even fit me. And the jewelry that doesn't fit, you're not gonna wear. So that's my philosophy. So I'm just gonna make a knot, and I usually knot it 3 times, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get a third knot in here, so I don't know. I'm gonna give it a I'm gonna give it a try. But I am trying to get like a surgeon's knot kind of thing going on where, you knot it and then you tighten it and then you make another knot in the different direction, to kind of keep it from falling apart. So I feel like as I tighten the knot each time, I'm trying to make sure that I'm tightening it without like tightening the bracelet string. I'm just tightening these ends and closing the knot really. So I am going to go back and pull from the inside of the knot, I guess, from the actual cord, and just kind of gently pull. And I'm not pulling to like break the bracelet apart. You know what? I'm just pulling it ever so slightly. Now, I already can tell that knot is not going to fit in my hole. And I'm okay with that. I'm not going to worry about it. But I do want to give it another knot, just for the sake of, keeping it sturdy. So I don't remember which direction I went in last time, so I'm just going to do that third one in whatever direction. And then I'm going to leave my tail long, and I'm going to just grab my GS Hypo Cement. Oh, this stuff really came out. That sucks. I do not like that because it's waste. But a little bit comes out and of that tip, and you can kind of see it's a really fine needlepoint tip. So I'm just going to put that little drip that came out on the knot on one side and then try to get in on the other side of the knot. And ideally, I don't want to get any of this on my skin, but stuff happens. So I put that on both sides, and this, the lid has a little hole that you can prick through there. And I really would like to close this up, so I'm just going to go ahead and, where's my trimmers? I'm going to trim off the little ends, but not super close, just a little bit. And then I'll come back when it's dry and trim it closer, but for now, just leaving it that way. So here's the finished bracelet. I think it came out really cute. And you can see where the knot is, and that's just, I can live with that, because when I'm wearing it, it won't be that obvious. That'll kind of be on the back where nobody's seeing it. But if I wanted to, it might have been a better idea to put it here where the charm is, because there's already kind of a bump out there. But you live and you learn. And also, there wasn't going to be anywhere on this bracelet that the knot would be 100% hidden, so that's just the way it goes sometimes. So that's my finished bracelet. Let's see if I can kind of get it in camera for you. Now, I have a really tiny wrist. This would not fit everybody. I'm like 4'11". So this ends up on my wrist being perfect. It's not too big, doesn't stretch out too much. It's also not too tight. But I've done bracelets for myself for so long now that I know exactly what size to make for my own wrist. So make sure that you're making something that fits for your own wrist and use the right pattern, because it takes a while to get the pattern just right and to get the alignment just right. And sometimes your bracelets will all be different sizes and thicknesses just because of the beads, the depth of the beads or the thickness of the beads, and the size of them, I guess. So anyway, I hope you like this walkthrough of how I made this cute little spring inspired kind of floral bracelet with some of my bead stash, and I showed you a couple of my techniques and kind of slowed things down a little bit so you could follow along. And if you do like this type of content and you want to see more, please let me know in the comment or like and subscribe. That really does help my channel be found by more people. So that way more people can enjoy my content. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!